on today's show, Jim went into his dream, which I like dream talk. I think it's very, especially when with Jim's, how it was so detailed out. He went into this whole thing, and it was all centered around him trying to get pictures with the presidents of the United States of America. Not the band. Not the band. We're talking George Bush, Bill Clinton, and the like. E-Rock, the Sex Bagel Nagel, you made an appearance in the Jim Norton dream.
Yes.
How happy are you?
Good, because I wasn't being shit on this time.
Yeah. Well, I seem to be taking some of that role lately, which I guess I've had coming to me. And by the way, there were people twittering me. I guess when I Googled Manhattan population,
there's a Manhattan, Kansas.
The number that came up, I guess, was the population for Manhattan, Kansas, which if it were anybody but me at that computer, I would find hilarious. So I'll just say that for the record. But because it was me, it was not a dumb mistake at all. Eric, do you think that the reason you were in the dream with Norton is just because you've been so closely associated with his celebrity pictures for so long? Because you've gotten him a few. You've been the cameraman many a time.
Yeah, usually if it's in a pinch or something, he'll call me to meet him somewhere so he can get the photo because nobody will be there or around here. But he alternates between myself and Roland most of the time.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I think that maybe half of it comes from the fact that Eric is Norton's picture guy, but I think maybe the other half is Norton knowing subconsciously that Eric is probably just as big as a picture whore as he is.
Are you as big into pictures as Norton is, or has Norton rubbed off on you? So it's like kind of
he's rubbed off on me,
like the way when and Eric, I'm not taking a shot here, but when you hang out with Roland, you don't eat as healthy because Roland's with you and he's kind of, you know what I mean. So
I'm absorbing from whoever I'm with.
It's a bad influence, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Roland, you know it's true, goddammit.
I know.
By the way, you guys can't see this. Roland is smacking him in the back of the head with his cards.
Of course he is. So what I'm saying is, do you think your hobby is influenced by Norton?
Oh, it's 100% influence from him. I learned it all from him.
I feel like Norton.
Not all of it. I've never seen Norton fucking print out a piece of printer paper to have somebody sign it.
You do that, Eric. What about that? You print out pictures from Google Images and have people sign them?
Like low res.
I have nieces and nephews, yes.
What nieces and enough? I don't want to hear about your nieces and nephews.
I have family members, too. I don't fucking get portfolios of shit signed for them at the same time.
That's your problem.
No, it's not. I don't have the problem.
Because
he likes his family members. That's the reason.
Because you're sleeping behind the wheel, Danny Cakes. You're missing the opportunities right in front of your eyes.
I'm missing all that tackiness right in front of me.
But this dream, it was like there was elements of prostitution involved. Different, but I think at its root, it was just your typical anxiety dream. It was the same basic dream that Opie used to talk about having a few years ago, where he was the DJ who didn't have another song to play.
Yeah, it's all panic.
Who had the one song to play, and it's however that anxiety sort of manifests itself in your head is how it's just how it is. Like for Norton, and this is what's really strange about Norton. That like for Opie, it was not having the next CD in because he was a DJ, so that was the anxious part of his life. You'd think for Norton it would be like getting up on stage and blanking, or pitching something to a network executive and not knowing what to tell him, or being naked or something. But for Norton, it's not being able to get celebrity pictures, which is insane.
I think he got it backwards. I think what bothered him more was not being able to close the deal with the girl in the dream, and not being able to make her love him.
No.
You know?
Because he was talking to the girl, and while he was talking to her, the feeling of anxiousness came up because she was keeping him.
Yeah, he realized
from the celebrity picture.
You know what? You're right.
The girl was a distraction. This was a distraction. That was a distraction from the root goal, which was getting that celebrity picture. For Opie, it was getting the next song on the air. You know what I mean? Like.
Maybe it's not so much. I think maybe we're looking at it too realistically. Like we're looking at this dream and saying, okay, well, Norton, he was being bothered because he wanted the celebrity photo. Maybe it wasn't so much the celebrity photo, but more so that he was being distracted by a woman.
Right.
It was keeping him from getting what he wanted. What that was is inconsequential.
And that's definitely an element. But what I find like funny is that the way anxiety manifests itself in the dream, no matter what the anxiety is actually about in his life, like he has anxiety built up over something, and the way that manifests itself is what's most familiar to him, which is panicking over a celebrity picture. Like for me, I was always one step behind in my life. Like when I was in college, my anxiety dream was we had gym class in high school every other day. So you had to have your gym uniform there, right? And so when I was in college, I used to have dreams that it was like 6 months into school and I had not been keeping track of the every other day thing.
I still have those
and
dreams.
had skipped gym every single day,
Yeah.
and I was about to fail the semester.
I
And
still
that
have
was
those dreams,
how my
actually.
anxiety popped up. It was, and then once I graduated college, like now, I wake up and have to remind myself that I'm out of college because I constantly, anytime I have anxiety dreams, it's I forgot that I had to go to a class every day this semester, and now there's a paper due, and I didn't do the paper and haven't been to any classes. And I have to figure out how I can pass this class so I can get out of college. And that's my anxiety. That's how my anxiety, for whatever
Manifests
reason,
itself?
manifests itself now. Eric, do you have any anxiety dream that
Mine's-
just keeps coming?
Mine's the same thing with college. It's always that, fuck, I forgot I had an exam today. I didn't go to class to take the test, or I didn't hand the paper in, or I didn't
Yeah.
even write the damn paper.
And it's crazy. Like, do you wake up? Like, I swear I'm awake and I'm lying in bed and I go, okay. Like, I have to talk to myself. I've graduated college. Wait, did I? Or do I have one semester left?
Mine takes place that I'm still there.
Right. But I'm saying, like, after you wake up, do you go, wait?
And you've been out for years.
I'm 28 years old. I
Yeah.
graduated when I was 22. And I go, wait, do I have one semester left? Like, I have to ask myself, wait, was there another semester that I didn't finish? I think there might have been. No.
But
No,
then
I
you look at
graduated.
your paycheck and you say, no, I'm out of college. I'm a line cook.
yeah, exactly. No. Do you have that moment, Eric, or once you wake up, do you realize?
You always feel like, wait, did I finish this course? Did I There's something on, that has been something that's incomplete that you're still panicking over for no reason.
Do you have anxiety dream, Danny? One that just keeps coming back,
Guess the one that I would most.
or do you just smoke enough weed before bed that it's like no anxiety here?
I've been living a good life.
Yeah, kill those dreams away.
But I guess if there was an anxiety dream, it's probably the wake up, and for whatever reason you've assumed that you're late for whatever reason it is.
Okay.
And so I think that's probably what gives me the most panic is waking up thinking that it's like 7 a.m. when it's probably like 1:15 and I could still sleep for a little bit.
It's all like, and the emotion that sets in is, oh my God, this is out of my control. How do I grasp this again? I need this back to me. There has to be a way that I can handle this.
I used to do that, but now it's just like, like if I do wake up and it's like 7 in the morning, it's like I don't have a fucking time machine. It's just like, well, I'm late. What am I going to do? I could either
now it's
beat
7.
myself up about it or just be like, fuck, I'm late.
What about you, Paul? Do you have anything?
I actually had one this morning
You did.
that I was teaching an intern how to do the phones.
Okay. Well,
And no. And he broke everything.
Is that true?
And then, I really
I
had
thought
this
you
dream last night.
because you were actually teaching an
I
intern how to
know,
do
I
the
know.
phones
I knew
today.
I
I
had
thought
to.
you were
Maybe
going
that's why
to
it came that
explain
way.
your nightmare
No.
that was your living.
But no, in my dream, he broke everything and then ran. Just literally destroyed it physically and ran out of the door. And it was left up to me to fix it with a minute till the show started.
Wow. So
Yeah.
this is it. You're in here.
So
I'm
then you
here.
called Mars, and then you had two people. Who
Mars
didn't know
Mars wasn't here today, nor was he here in my dream. Well, I don't think he was here today. I didn't see him.
I don't know. I think I saw him this morning,
Oh,
but
okay.
who knows?
Why?
Yeah, I saw him having a coffee.
Eric, where's Troy? Troy is such an anxious, emotional person. I want to know what Troy's like. Is it that the government has come and taken his family?
Now he goes to leave the house and he realizes that he's all out of product.
Yeah. Or he can't. His bunker that he's in is locked from the outside, so he can't get out now that the blast is over. Is he around?
Trying to find. Oh, there it
There he is. There he is. Troy, have you been listening? We were talking about. Did you hear Jim tell his dream story today?
Yeah.
We were, and I was saying that like, that's like a typical. To me, it sounded like a typical anxiety dream. That the anxiety manifests itself differently for everybody. Like Danny was just saying, he just wakes up thinking he's late in general, whereas Eric and me have the exact or very similar dreams where the way our anxiety pops up is that we think that we either haven't handed in a paper in college, or for me, that I forgot to go to class every single day and it's the end of the semester and I have to figure out how to pass the class so I can get out of college.
You know what? I did that too. I was just thinking about that. You think like, holy fuck, I missed the whole semester.
Yeah.
You went home and didn't realize you were still in school.
Yeah. Oh, and then I was just telling Eric, I wake up and I have to figure out whether or not I still have some classes to take.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember. Do you have anything that just keeps coming back to have that dream? Like Opie's dream, we were saying, was not having a next song to put in. He's a DJ at a radio station, and he's playing music, and that CD is about to end, but he doesn't have another song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit. I really am very calm in this age. I know that sounds a little weird, but like I have good.
I don't believe that.
I have a good emotional. I have a good mental peace of mind.
You were just on Friday, 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Screaming at an intern.
Yeah, but because he was just acting like a goofball.
But you didn't use the word goofball.
But I don't get anxiety over that.
But it doesn't. You get riled up so easily.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between agitation and anxiety.
You're not an anxious person?
No, not really. I mean, there's certain things I get weird about. I have this weird problem when I lived in Queens.
Yeah.
That there was going to be pandemonium in New York City, and I couldn't get out.
I would say that's a weird problem. But this was like a dream, or when you were awake, this is what you thought?
No, when I was riding the train out.
Okay.
And I'm like way out in bumblefuck, and I'm like, if all hell breaks loose, I'm going to be in trouble.
Hang on a sec. We got a hotline we got to go to. You're on After Opie and Anthony Live.
Sam, I have 2 dreams.
Oh, Club Soda Kenny, please share with me. First of all, where can they find you on Facebook is the question everybody wants to know.
Well, that's the first dream, that nobody likes me on Facebook.
I'm sure you won't have to worry about that. You far surpassed me on Facebook at this point, so there's nothing to worry about that there.
No, you spread it out because you got more than one page.
Yeah, but I mean, the fan page is what people count. Go on.
And the second dream is that you're quitting Sirius Satellite Radio.
Well, I'm not quitting Sirius Satellite Radio.
That's not what I heard. People are talking.
Well, people can talk and people can talk, but I'm not. I mean, I love doing this show, and I like doing O&A every day. Like
You just don't love Dave anymore? Is that the problem?
I don't love coming in on Saturday nights anymore. Oh. I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years. People forget there was a Stan and Sam. I've been doing this forever.
Yeah, but they pay you well for that, don't they?
That's none of your business, Paul.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
When you leave, they're just going to automate your overnight show because nobody's listening to it anyway.
Okay, thanks, Kenny. Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I heard from you. You want to plug any of your bullshit before I hang up the phone?
Why are you getting an attitude?
You just insulted me.
What do you mean? That's not an insult.
You said nobody listens to my show.
Well, do they or don't they?
We get tons of calls,
Of course they do. It's brought to you by Trojan.
Not this show. The Saturday show is not brought to you by that company. Thank you, Kenny.
All right, well, are my dreams going to come true?
No, neither of them are going to come true.
All right.
Goodbye, Kenny. I had to hang up. Enough. Every day it's something else with Kenny.
I know.
This is what people don't understand. And I go to his Facebook and I read the comments on my Facebook and people are like, "Oh, Sam sucks. Stop being a dick to Kenny." Every day. It's not an on-air thing. It's not a Facebook thing. Every day. It's something else with Kenny that he takes this little grain of truth and then he makes up a whole big story and then he tells every single person who passes him in the hallway all day long.
Yeah.
And he grabs you and says, come here, and he asks you to be there as he tells every single person in the hallway.
Right.
I love the guy. I think it's hilarious, but it's every day.
And you could have a million things on your mind in the middle of something, and he will stop you to tell you that.
I was literally cutting up today's Jocktober this morning, and Kenny was trying to wave me out of the office to ask me if I was quitting Sirius XM. No, I'm not.
And you can clarify for him what's really going on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
I'm not quitting the company. Why would I do that? I love it here.
He stopped me on the way to the bathroom with a lot of concern about what's going to happen to the overnight shift on Hits 1 and Saturday nights. He said, you're leaving.
This is what I'm not.
He was really
here.
concerned.
Well, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon because it's fun here. I'm having a good time. It's great. Enough. Jesus Christ. This is what people don't realize, Troy. This is what I have to go through.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about going on a subway and being afraid that New York was going to implode.
Well, no, you just. I mean, you can.
You think he's dumb?
You can laugh all you want. I mean, but there is the threat of some sort of.
I know. I saw Cloverfield.
You know what I mean? Like you could say that's dumb all you want, but there is a risk of that, isn't there? Not, Roland? No, right. You're right. This is Wichita, Kansas. Nothing's going to happen out here, right?
Okay, I mean,
well, you know what I mean. Like, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere, bumblefuck Queens, and the neighborhood I was living in was Jackson Heights, and nobody there spoke English. So if the shit goes down, and say the power grid goes out, there's going to be absolute fucking chaos.
So instead of like panicking every time you rode on the train, why wouldn't you just move?
I did.
Well, hold
That
on.
was smart.
Did you have a plan?
Yeah, what?
Did you have a plan in case shit did go down?
No, that's
you
where I
never
got
came up with any
GTFO
Well,
is the plan.
look at where Jackson Heights is on a map in
Trying to
Queens,
remember.
and think about how you get to the good part.
So where did you move to?
Manhattan.
And then you were cool.
I'm better. I'm better.
To this day, does that still kind of...
If I sit there and really sort of think about it, but then...
What circumstance would this happen in, do you think?
Well, you have to... Like I said, if the power grid goes out, what's going to happen?
And were you worried about that when the hurricane came a month or two ago?
I wasn't in Manhattan.
Specifically?
I went to Pennsylvania.
On purpose?
Well, I had a DJ gig, and then it hit... I had a DJ gig that Friday, and then it was supposed to hit late Saturday night, so I just stayed out there.
Were you happy that you were out there instead of Manhattan? Because the power grid could have failed in that circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you do think if the power grid in Manhattan fails, that it'll be anarchy?
Well, it depends. I mean, quite possibly, yeah.
How soon? After the power grid fails?
I don't know.
In Die Hard 4, it was like 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Die Hard 4, people went nuts.
Yeah, people goof on Anthony about his go bag and shit, but that's fucking smart thinking.
Do you have a go
I
bag?
have one too.
no.
I have a little something prepared just in case.
What's in there?
Just I have some. No, I don't really have
Nectarines?
I mean, I have tools. I have food and water just in case.
Is
Two
it
sticks
nectar-
to rub together to make fire.
Is it nectarines?
Yes.
It is, I knew it. Make sure you keep replacing them because those things go bad.
Yeah.
Real quick. You don't want a rotten nectarine because then you're like, I'm fucking starving.
Right.
It's anarchy. And all I got is this brown nectarine. It's soft,
Yeah.
for God's sake.
Ask me if I have a to-go bag.
Roland, do you have a to-go bag?
Fuck no.
No, Roland has a to-go bag with every meal. So he has plenty of to-go bags.
I do.
Sorry about that, Roland. Have you seen the movie? I saw the movie Buried over the weekend. Just to-go bag reminded me of that. The whole movie is just Ryan Reynolds buried in a coffin, alive. Do you worry? Do you have any sort of fear? This whole thing, implosion, and have it because he had a little bag with him in there. It was a dumb movie. But do you worry about stuff like that at all, or just
It's a good movie.
Getting
Ryan Reynolds.
stuck in a coffin?
Yeah, do you ever worry like because he got kidnapped by terrorists and buried alive?
No.
Like I'm actually more worried that a terrorist is going to kidnap me and buried alive than I am that there will be anarchy in Manhattan.
Right. But
Maybe that's not a smart thing. I'm not saying that that's the way everybody should
well,
be.
like I said, I was out in Queens, so
Right.
Queens is different than Manhattan.
Well, in what circumstance do you think the power grid would fail?
Well, I mean, anytime they're in the summer when there are when they're overloaded and everybody has their air conditioners on, there's major problems and there's power goes out all over the place.
So you think, and do you think as Manhattan goes, so goes the United States?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, one hot summer and this whole, Constitution, this whole Founding Fathers deal could be kaput.
What about a cold winter?
Well, that already happened a few years ago, where the power went out.
Well, there was a
like-
blackout. There wasn't a total anarchy,
Well,
though, is
no,
what
no,
I'm saying.
not the anarchy.
Right.
Everybody went drinking that time.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah.
What if that happens?
Well, because they were giving away free beer.
What
Because
Yeah, a quarter of beer.
What if the power grid goes out and then everybody just goes out for drinks?
then it's a great time.
Then
they don't have
you're-
to worry about anything.
Then you're happy to be in Manhattan, right?
Well, then you go out and get some free beer.
Why don't you move out to like the sticks or something where you don't have to worry about that stuff? If that's something that actually crosses your mind,
It's just the commute in. I like the convenience of
it
getting
would be
close.
tough to get here from Kansas.
It would be.
It'd be a
I mean,
pain
I
and-
work here. I DJ in the city all the time, so to commute from New Jersey is a huge pain in the ass.
I'm more worried about a Cloverfield monster attacking Manhattan than I am about the power grid failing and there being anarchy.
yeah. Well,
I just
that's fine.
realized that.
I mean, I'm the one that has to live out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
why don't you come out to Westchester, baby?
but like I said, I mean, the commute to come home I get off of DJ gigs at 4 a.m. So until I would get out to Westchester, it'd be like 6, I don't have a car, so I'd have to be like at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you'd have to get a car. I would think you can't walk
Right.
to Westchester.
So,
You'd be a lot of sleeping in the office. But all right, well, I did want to play Sebastian Bach. What was it? This is the coolest thing about Troy's job because he gets to do a lot of the production here. And if you heard the Flava Flav FU line promo where Flav was rapping on it, Troy got to produce that with Flav. Troy got to produce the Good Boy Phone, Naughty Boy Phone with Sully from Godsmack. And now you got to do Sebastian Bach. How cool is it to see these rock stars and hip-hop icons? Flavor Flav is an icon, like, regardless of how goofy he is now. Like, Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Like,
and everybody knows his
need
voice.
I say more?
Everybody in hip-hop knows his voice.
How cool is it to have these icons performing in front of you? It's a small room. It's just them standing in front of you performing.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. Especially like something like Sebastian Bach. I wish I would just give you the raw track so you could just hear. I mean, literally.
I mean, if you have them, you could. It's
I can.
Aftershow,
Yeah, I'll bring it tomorrow. But I didn't have music or anything to it. I just knew how I wanted it to go, and I had him just do it a cappella. I did it for him, and then he just repeated it.
So you sang for Sebastian Bach.
I did.
That's pretty cool.
And in
Yeah.
Troy's defense, though, he has a small window of time to get it done.
So you do have a small window
Like
of time.
literally
like it's
five
business.
5 minutes if
If
that.
that, yeah.
So-
he does his magic.
Are you in the moment when that's happening, or are you just like, we just have to get this done? Like, are you like sitting there cognizant of the fact that, oh my God, Sebastian Bach is singing a cock rock song in front of me?
Well, I look at you have to prioritize. You know, first thing that's most important is you want IDs for the show,
Yeah.
and for Jim and for everything, and then after that it's like, okay, we have a minute. Can you do this? And then I had to play him Sully's version. And it was cool because he was actually talking about just getting off tour with Sully and Godsmack,
Little connection.
and so I played it, and he was like, "Oh, cool!" And he's like, "Do you want me to sing harmony to this?" I was like, "No, I want you to just follow me, do this." And no, he does it, and as soon as he starts singing, it's just that voice, and you're like,
and that's when it hits you, like, holy shit, that's Sebastian Bach.
yeah, that's really fucking
Skid
him.
Row.
And then when I actually put it to music, you're just like, you know, you can't believe that you had the opportunity to do this.
Real quick, Wayne in Boston, you're on the after show.
Hey, Sam, I just wanted to ask you, what's the worst that could happen if there was anarchy in Manhattan? It would just be 44,000 people running around.
That's true. I mean, with an island this big, 44,000 running around really wouldn't hurt much. Thank you, Wayne. And Sully, when he came in, doing his own verse to it, too. That had to be pretty cool.
That was really cool. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were just in the studio, and I told him what it was, gave him the lyrics, and I was just like, dude, just have fun with it. And luckily, he had some time between his what we did with him and his next interview. So he actually had a chance to figure out the chords and see how he wanted to play it.
Does that make your life difficult, Roland, trying to make sure that we have enough time here, make sure they get to their next interview on time, but also making sure
autographs,
people get pictures and autographs.
and make sure that I don't have to go downstairs and cancel people. Yes,
And you have to go downstairs and cancel people?
shit happens all the time.
Who did
That's
you-
my greatest fear.
Did you have to... that's your anxiety dream, going down?
Every day, I swear.
Because you can tell the Anthony Michael Hall story now, can't you? Have I already said too much?
Probably.
Okay, well then let's listen to Troy's production piece.
You got your good boy phone and your naughty boy phone. Your naughty boy phone and your good boy phone. Your naughty boy phone and your good boy phone. And your naughty boy phone and your good boy phone. You got your good boy phone and your naughty boy phone. Your naughty boy phone and your good boy phone.
I also love the obscenely long outro here.
Yeah, it's the outro is just as long as the song.
You're just waiting for something to hit at the end.
Yeah.
It's not coming.
Like for him to be like, yeah!
But that's not happening.
Nope.
Because that's all he cut. He didn't cut it yet.
Leaves you hanging.
Oh. So what is your anxiety dream, Roland? Now Troy is like an emotional guy. Like he's got a short fuse. You do have a short fuse. I mean you're very easy to get riled up. Paul, Troy has a short fuse.
From what I've seen.
Did you see him yelling at that intern on Friday? You have a short fuse.
I wasn't here.
But
I missed it.
that kid's a goofball.
And when you got into on-air fights with Danny, you got into on-air fights with other people, I
just
think.
don't wear bunny ears and throw napkins at him.
Yeah. You've flipped out on Roland before. Like, you have a short fuse. You have flipped the shit out on Eric. Eric, does Troy have a short fuse?
I will say this. Yes, he does, but from when I knew him back in the day, his temper... He's got more of a temper now than he did because he used to be really bad.
Oh, so he's got... Okay.
Oh, he wouldn't even say
he's
something
more
back like,
tempered.
really, or whatever. He would just turn and then start swinging at people's faces.
Just because he was a psychopath doesn't mean now he doesn't have a short fuse. Like, you can't, like...
I feel like I'm so calm now, though,
But that's
dude.
because you were
Yeah.
way out of control back then. Like, you're still not a human being in society yet. You're getting there.
I'm a good...
You're getting there. But Roland, your emotion is anxiety. Like, that's your life.
Yeah.
So I would assume every night is an anxiety
I
dream
have
for you.
night sweats.
What's your anxiety dream?
If I have a big day, like 3-4 guests, I'll like literally dream Like they cancel them, and then sometimes it's not a dream. or I sweat. I stare at my phone, or I wake up at 4 in the morning just staring at my BlackBerry, going, "I'm gonna get an email to say move something."
So you'll actually wake up. This is true. You wake up in the middle of your sleep and just grab your BlackBerry because you're.
I'll pace, yeah.
Wow.
Or then I'll watch TV from like 3 to 5.
So you lose sleep.
I lose everything. Yeah.
You can you imagine like I've never woken up in the middle of the night and been that anxious about my job.
Do you smoke weed? Have you ever smoked pot?
No.
You've never tried it?
No, I'm paranoid enough.
Well, sometimes that helps just calm your nerves.
Do you
just
think-
kind of go, fuck it, who cares?
Do you think it would mellow him out?
I don't know. It's one of those things where either you get super paranoid and you obsess over things, or it just goes, fuck it.
You're obsessive and paranoid too. You have those elements of your personality.
No.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You thought the birds in the sky were government control.
That's crazy.
They were dropping from the sky.
You have elements of paranoia and whatever in your... But do you find that weed mellows you out?
Yeah, it just keeps me from going on a homicidal rage.
You see, and yeah, I'm much more calm now. I'm induced. Roland, would you consider taking an illicit substance to help you?
Yeah, Troy now with smoke. Like I'm calm. I'll be like, oh my god, something
Yeah,
bad
exactly.
happened.
I worry that
It's
Roland...
just pot. It's not coke.
Roland would just get more paranoid because I've seen people have bad reactions, even to weed. People have bad reactions.
Sure.
to.
Oh yeah.
And especially if it's weird stuff or whatever.
And if your environment isn't good and you're not comfortable with who you're surrounded with.
I mean, I remember having to sit. I had a friend in college who smoked weed literally every single day, all day, and he just got a bad batch or whatever. Like something was mixed in with whatever it was, and he didn't know what it was. But I had to sit with him all night because anytime things got quiet, all that would come up in front of his face was him picturing his relatives and loved ones, and then their faces melting off to a Terminator robot.
Yeah, that's not weed.
All night. That's
That's
what I
not
was like, dude, I don't know what you did.
That's like PCP or something.
Yeah. But I've seen even just weed can make people paranoid, and I think Roland.
Yeah, I went to a Rolling Stones
might get-
concert, got a huge contact high, and I was the most paranoid person ever.
Really?
I thought the cab driver was after me. I thought people were going to come after me.
The cab driver.
I ran out of the cab screaming at home, and my brother
Roland,
just laughed.
You got some major issues, and I think seeing a therapist is exactly what you should be doing. How does that make you feel?
Therapists probably don't want me after like 10 minutes.
They're like,
just get out of here.
They're like, no, it's too much. It's too much. Well, you know what you should do, Roland, to just calm yourself out? Have a little sex.
Masturbate.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Have sex with a woman, but make sure it's protected.
By who?
Speaking of that, After Opie and Anthony Live with Sam Roberts is brought to you by Trojan Bearskin Condoms. Trojan, America's #1 most trusted condom brand. And I tell you, I've used tons of condoms. I mean, you guys know me. I've been with the ladies.
Sam,
You're the
sex
fuck
machine.
master.
Yeah, I'm the fuck master is right. These things never rip. They don't
Right.
break ever.
Yeah.
They are the most trusted condom you could have. So
Big ups
to Trojan.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because nobody wants another Sam Roberts running around here.
So does that make this show an official show if you now have a real sponsor?
I mean, they're sponsoring the
Hey,
show.
Sam.
Yeah.
I was the tickets last week were an ad buy, quote unquote, whatever it's called in this business. This is a sponsor for real.
When I get dick in the ass, I use Trojan.
You do. That's fantastic. That's what I would use too. Especially if you're losing as much sleep as you are. Hopefully that helps you sleep a little more soundly.